Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we are going to build this stunning landing page using HTML and CSS only. We are not going to use Bootstrap or JavaScript or any other framework. So it is going to be very easy. So let's just have a look at the landing page first. You can say this is just a very simple one-page web page. And now let me just reduce the size of the screen and show you how the landing page is going to change according to the size of the screen. It is a pretty responsive design, so you don't have to worry about the device it is going to be opened in. It is very much responsive, as you can see. And I have prepared some starter files which you can go ahead and download from the description of this video. Inside this starter files folder we have this screenshot of the landing page, so you can see the design of the web page or the landing page that we are about to create. And inside this img folder we have the images that we are going to use in the page. You can use any other image if you have, that totally depends upon you. I have just put some of the images for your quick reference so that you can quickly get on with the coding part without worrying much about these trivial things. So anyways, now let's start with the coding. Inside this starter files folder, let's create a index.html file. So just create a text file and then rename the file as index.html and remove the .txt extension so that this file becomes the HTML file. And I am creating this file inside the starter files folder so that it is easy for us to access the images while we are defining the web page. And now let me just open this index.html in Sublime Text. You can use any other text editor of your choice. And if you want to see which color scheme I am using, it is this second one, Mariana. Alright, now let's start with the HTML tag. Autocomplete will show the HTML tag as soon as you start writing HT. Hit enter and all of these basic tags will be filled in by the text editor. And even if it doesn't, you can just pause the video and write out these tags. Then quickly fill in the title. And we are going to use font awesome icons for the social icons that are going to be on the bottom of the web page. So for that we are going to use a CDN link so that we can access these icons, and accessing these icons require internet connection. So write link. This will create a link tag. I am just writing the CDN link of the font awesome icon. You can pause the video and write it, or you can search it on the Google for the CDN link font awesome icon and you will get this link. Similarly, I'm going to write one more link for Google font. So create a link tag, and in the same way either you can pause the video and write the CDN link from here, or you can search it on the Google and then copy the link and paste it here. So we are going to use two different fonts, that is Quicksand and another is Cinzel Decorative. Then let's add one link to the external CSS file that we are going to create later to keep all the CSS stylings. And in the reference we can write style.css. Since the file is going to be just next to the HTML file in the same folder, we don't have to write the location. Alright, then get inside the body tag and let's start with the section tag and class container hyphen fluid. We will define this container in a way that it takes the entire width of the screen. Space bg landing. We will add the landing page image using this class. Then we can just have the ID as landing. Alright, then get inside and create a div tag and class overlay. We will use this class to add some picture effect or color effect over the landing page image. Alright, then get inside and let's start with the banner text, the text that we are going to write on the landing page, the big one. Get inside, create another div tag, and let's write the class as wrapper. Alright, get inside, create another div tag, and have the class as banner hyphen text, and then get inside and create a h1 tag and write the first word of the heading follow. Similarly, get below it, create another h1 tag and write your, then create one more h1 tag and write passion. So we are writing all these texts in different h1 tags so that they are not in the same line, they are in different lines. Then create a p tag or a paragraph text and write class as font hyphen md. We will define this class to have a medium font size space my hyphen 2, and we will define this class to have 2 rem of margin on the top and bottom. Then you can write any text that you want. Alright, then get outside this div tag which contains the class banner text. Get outside it. And still we are inside the div tag which contains the class wrapper. Make sure of that. Now create a new div tag and let's write the class banner hyphen button. We will define the small button which is below the banner text on the landing page. Then space my hyphen 2 to add 2 rem of margin on the top and the bottom. Then get inside and create a button tag and class btn. We will define it later in the CSS. Then write the text for the button. Alright. Now let's open the file in the browser so that we can observe the changes that we are making. Alright. So this is how our web page looks right now without any stylings. Just the bare basics of the website. Anyways, then get back to your text editor. Let me just add some comments here. Alright. Then let's start with the image grid section. In this section, we are going to create 4 boxes. Create a section tag and class container hyphen fluid. As I have already told you, we will make this class to have the entire width of the screen. Space d hyphen flex hyphen c. We will define this class to have the flex properties, and the flex direction will be set to column so that whatever elements we define under this class will be stacked next to each other in one column. Then id as product. Then let's start with the title for this section. Create a div tag and class text hyphen center. To center align the text, we will define it later. Then space text hyphen container, this will add some padding. Then get inside and create a h2 tag and write any heading, any text that you have in your mind. Similarly, create a p tag and write class my-1 to add 1 rem of margin on the top and bottom. And these classes will not work right now because we have not defined them in the CSS. I am just writing them for now so that when we declare these classes later in the CSS, our web page gets updated. And let me just copy the text from the web page so that I can just paste it here. You can write any other thing that you have in your mind. Alright, and now let's start with the image grid and let's define the first row. Create a UL tag, that is the unordered list tag, and write the class as d-flex-r so that whatever elements we define under this class will be stacked next to each other in one row. So the combined effect of the first d-flex-c class in the section containing this entire portion and the UL tag containing this class d-flex-r, the combined effect of these two classes will be that in first row we will get two boxes of same size. Similarly, we just need to add one more element with class d-flex-r and it will also get two boxes. So in total we will get four. This is the basic idea. You will understand it better when we create the image grids. Alright, then let's start with the first half of the row, that is the first box. So create a li tag and write the class as 1_half. We will define this class in a way that it takes 1/2 width of the row. Then get inside and create a div tag class hover effect. Because we are going to have hover effect over the image in the grid, so we will use this class to define those effects. Then get inside and create a img tag for image and source as img/product-1.jpg. If you have created this index.html in the same folder of the starter files, then you need not worry about anything because there we already have img folder and inside it we have this product-1.jpg image. And in case you are using some other folder or if you have created this index.html on the desktop, then you need to write the address for the image appropriately according to the location of the image. Get inside, create a div tag and class overlay. We will use this class to add some effects. Then get inside and create a h2 tag. And there you can write the name of the product or anything, any heading that you want. Get below it and create a p tag. This will have the description about the image or the product or whatever you are defining. Then get below it and create a button. Then class btn space inverse space my-1. We will define this inverse class in a way that if only the btn class is used for a button, then the button will have some color to it, and when we hover over the button it will become transparent. And when we use these two classes together, btn space inverse, then the button will be transparent at the beginning, and when we hover over the button, the hovering effect will add some color to it. Alright, you can see that this button is green colored and when we hover over it, it becomes transparent. So while defining this button, we have used a btn class and this button is transparent at the beginning and when we hover over it, it becomes green. While defining this button, we have used btn space inverse class. So anyways, let's add some text for the button. Alright, so we have the image, the heading and the button. You can open the img folder and you can see how we are accessing this image from the img folder. So this one li tag has completely defined one box, and because of that 1_half class, it will get the half width of the row. So to define the next half of the row, we just need to define one li tag and write the class as 1_half. So these two half will make one full width of the screen. Get inside it and create a div tag and class text-center. Then get inside it and create h3 tag and class m-4. We are going to define this class in a way that it adds 4 rem of margin all around this h3 tag. then create a p tag and class m-4 and text-justify so that the text which we defined under this gets justified. And let me just quickly copy the text from the website. All you can do is write any dummy text that you want. Alright, so with this we have created one row, that is one image, and next to it the text. In the next row, that is in the second row, we want the text to be first and the image to be next to it. So it is opposite of the style that we have in the first row. So let's close this UL tag here and let me just add one comment here that the first row ends. And now let's start with the second row. And for this second row, the second half of the first row is going to be the first half of the second row. Anyways, get inside, create a UL tag. And class d-flex-r space reverse -wrap. Now if you notice one thing, in the first row the image is on the left and the text is on the right, and in the next row or in the second row the text is first and then we have the image. Now when we try to reduce the size of the screen, this will be aligned as the first image will be the first, then below it we will have the text, then below it we will have another text, and at the bottom we will have the second image. But this is not how we want it to be. We want the first image, then the text, then second image, and then the second text. Now to have this effect, we are going to use a special property of flex, that is in the flex wrap property we are going to have the value as reverse wrap. So we are going to use this class for exactly this purpose. So to create the first half of the second row, we need to copy the second half of the first row, that is the half which contains the text. So copy this entire li tag. Paste it. And this becomes the first part of the second row. Similarly, to create the second part or the second half of the second row, we need to copy the first half of the first row because that part defines the image. You can see it here. So copy this entire li tag and paste it here. Save it. Let's see in the browser. So we have the image, then the text, then second text, and then the second image at the last. Now let's define this social icon part. This is the last part in the HTML. Create a section tag, class d-flex-r, because we want all the elements which we are going to define under this to be stacked in one row next to each other in a way that they have space in between them as well as at the ends. So for that we are going to use flex properties. We will use the justify content property of flex and have the value as space around, and we are going to set this value using this class. Then space p-1, we will define this class to have 1 rem of padding all around it. Then space bg-gray, to add one gray color to this part of the website or the web page, ID as social, then get inside and create a UL tag and class as d-flex-r, then create a li tag, get inside and create a anchor tag or the a tag. Now inside it create a I tag because we want the icons to be a link so that when we click on it the respective social websites are opened, and class fab space fa-facebook. This is the syntax for using font awesome icons. That is, we have to write fab space fa hyphen then the name of the social media and the respective icon will be there. You can see that we have the Facebook icon now. So in the same way we are going to define the rest of the icons. So just copy this li tag and paste it as many times as you want. And then change the name of the classes to get different icons. This depends upon you which icons you want as well as their positions. Alright, so we have all the icons. So I think with this we have successfully completed the HTML part, and we need to move to the CSS, and for that we first need to create a CSS file. So get inside the starter files folder again, and in the same way as we created this index.html we need to create the CSS file. So create a text document, write the name as style.css and remove the .txt extension so that it becomes a CSS file. Then open it. Make sure this index.html and style.css are in the same starter files folder, because while defining the link to this style.css file, we have not provided any location. If you are keeping style.css file in some folder, then you need to specify that folder here. Anyways, then get inside the style.css and let's start with star. This is going to select all the elements and font size as 1 rem. Margin 0, padding 0, refresh. So we have removed all the margin and padding. Reference UL tag, and since it is a tag we don't have to write dot selector or a hash selector before it. We just write the name of the tag. Font style normal. List style none. Reference e tag. Color as #000. Text decoration as none, so that we can get rid of the underline when we hover over the links. Body. Font family Lato, sans -serif. This will define the font style for the body part. Then p tag, font family quicksand, sans serif. To get this font, we have used the Google fonts and we have created a link for this in the head tag if you remember. Then letter spacing 3 pixels. You can see the letters are spaced out and the font has changed as well. Now let's change the font of the heading. So reference H3 tag, font family, within single quote, Cinzel, space decorative, comma, cursive, since it is a cursive font style, font size 3 rem, letter spacing 5 pixels, alright. Then reference H2 tag, letter spacing 5 pixels, font size 1.5 rem, font weight bold. These are pretty simple properties, so I don't think I need to explain these. Then reference the img tag, width 100%, height 100%. Now the image is taking the entire width of its container. Now let's start with the flex properties. The first class is d-flex-c, and since it is a class, we need to use dot selector. It should be dot d-flex-c display flex direction column flex wrap. This defines whether the flex element should be wrapped or not in small screen. Dot d-flex-r display flex direction row flex wrap. This will make sure that the elements which are defined under this class will be stacked next to each other in one single row, so you can see it. And since we have used wrap property, the text which should be next to the image is getting wrapped to the next row because of the space constraint. Now let's define the rest of the flex properties. Justify content space around. This will justify the links in a way that they have space around them so that they stay at the center. Refresh and you can see that. So we need to fix the width of each box. For that we are going to use 1_half class. Width 50%, display flex align items center. And now you can see that we have image on the left and then the text is on its right, and below the image we have one heading, product name and description, and the button. This should not be below the image, but it should be visible only when we hover over the image, and it should be invisible by default. Anyways, now let's define the spacing classes. .p-1 padding 1 rem. This will add 1 rem of padding all around it. .m-1 margin 1 rem. This will add 1 rem of margin all around it. .m-4 margin 4 rem. .my-1, we have to define margin top and margin bottom as 1 rem. Let's copy this. This should be my-2 and these should be 2 rem, 2 rem. Alright. Let's see which other classes we need to define. Alright, let's start with bg-landing. And since it is a class, we should write dot bg-landing background URL open bracket within single quotes img/landing.jpg, then get outside the bracket space fixed. Because of this fixed, the image will stay fixed on its position when we scroll through it, and because of this we get parallax scrolling effect space no hyphen repeat. This will make sure that the image is not repeated if the size of image is small and the size of the screen is quite big. Then background hyphen size cover, so that it covers the entire element which is using this class. Then minimum height as 800 pixels. Alright. Now let's define the text or the banner text on the landing page image. #landing. Since landing is the ID that we have used, so we need to use hash symbol to refer to it. Space P, which means we need to refer to the P tags which are inside the element which contains landing ID, and color as white. Then #landing space dot overlay background hyphen color RGBA 0,0,0,0.5, that is 3 zeros followed by 0.5. The first three part defines the RGB and the last part is the alpha, which defines the level of transparency, and minimum height as 800 pixel. This is going to add a color effect over the image. Alright. Then let's style the banner text. .banner-text space h1. This will select the h1 tag which is inside this banner-text class. Font-size 7 rem. Alright. Font-weight 100. Line-height 1. Background-color white. So for now, the background color is getting applied to the entire row, but instead we want the background color to be only there where we have the alphabets or the words. So for that, we want the maximum width of the H1 element to be the maximum of the content. Alright, let's copy this and paste it once again. Alright, add -moz-. This -moz- property is used in Firefox to display an element using platform native styling based on the operating system's theme. Similarly, WebKit is used for Safari and Chrome browsers, and these are vendor prefixes, and these are actually a means through which the makers of web browsers add support for their latest CSS features. If you don't understand it, just leave this line. Then position, relative, margin bottom, 15 pixels. Alright, so all the three lines have space below them. Then hash landing, space dot wrapper, margin 8 rem, and margin top 0. So the combined effect of these two lines will be that the margin top will be 0 and the rest of the margins will be 8 rem. Then padding top 8 rem, and this is the wrapper class which contains the entire banner text and the banner button. Then let's style the text. Write dot text hyphen center, text align center, dot text hyphen justify, text align justify, font hyphen md, font size 1.5 rem, text hyphen container, padding 50 pixels all around. So these are some of the shortcut CSS classes that we have used throughout our HTML page. Alright, now let's style the buttons. .btn display inline block, padding 10 pixel, space 25 pixel. 10 pixel is for the top bottom, 25 is for the left right. The effect of this padding will be that the buttons will become big. Border 1 pixel, space solid, space white. Transition 0.3 seconds. Ease. Alright. Then .btn, .btn, .inverse, :hover. Since the btn and the inverse class have been used with the same elements, so they are kind of siblings of each other, and when we try to refer to a combination of two classes which are siblings of each other, we don't leave space in between them. So .btn, .inverse should not have any space in between. Then :hover, because we are trying to style the hovering effect of the inverse button and the btn class together. So if a button is defined with btn class, then it should be green in color, or if the button is defined with btn space inverse, then it should become green when we are hovering over it. This is going to do the exact same. So color as hash triple F, that is the white color, and the background color as hash 3C B371, which is the green color. Then border color hash 3C B371, and transition 0.3 seconds ease. You can see it now. And this is the btn class which we have used with the button. And this is the combination of btn and inverse class. Now .btn colon hover comma .btn .inverse. Now we are going to make the button which is defined using btn class to become transparent when we hover over it, as well as the buttons which are defined using the combination of btn and inverse class to stay transparent by default. So color white, background color transparent, border color white, transition 0.3 seconds ease, and we have the desired effect. So the hovering effect of the btn inverse class is same as the btn class, as well as the hovering effect over the btn class is same as the btn inverse class. If you are understanding what I'm trying to explain, then it's fine, but if you are not understanding, just forget about it and keep writing the codes. Now let's style the image hovering effect, that is hover effect class. Width 100%, height 100%, float left, overflow hidden, position relative, text align center. Alright. Let me just quickly change the name of the image so that we get a different image in the second row. Then let's reference the overlay class which is inside this hover effect class. Position absolute, overflow hidden, height 80%, width 80%, left 10%, and top 10%, so that it starts from the top left corner at a distance of 10% from top and 10% from left. Border bottom 1 pixel, space solid space hash triple F, that is the white color. Then border top 1 pixel space solid space hash triple F. Alright, pretty easy. then transition, opacity 0.35 second, comma, transform 0.35 second, transform, scale 0, 1, dot hover effect, hover, dot overlay, opacity 1, transform, scale 1. Scale 1 will get the original size of the element. Alright. Dot hover effect, space img, display block, position relative, transition, all, space 0.35 seconds, alright. Dot hover effect, hover, space img, filter, brightness 0.2. This will add a slight gray color to the image when we hover over it. Alright. Dot hover effect, space h2, text hyphen transform, uppercase. This will transform the characters to uppercase. Text hyphen align, center, position, relative, font hyphen size 17 pixels, background hyphen color, transparent, color, hash triple F, alright. Then padding, alright. Opacity 0, transition, opacity 0.35 seconds, comma, transform 0.35 second, transform, translate 3D 0, minus 100%, 0, alright. Dot hover effect A, dot hover effect P. This will reference E tags and the P tags which are inside the hover effect class. Color hash triple F, padding 1 em top bottom, 0 left right, opacity 0, transition, opacity 0.35 second, transform 0.35 second, then transform, translate 3D, open bracket, 0, 100%, 0. Alright. Dot hover effect, hover. Let me just copy this. A, dot hover effect, hover, space P, dot hover effect, hover, space H2. So you can see that we have already defined A, P and the H2. Now we need to define the hovering effect over these tags. Opacity 1, transform, translate 3D, open bracket 0, 0, 0. And the hovering effect is complete. Now we just need to style the social icons. So reference them using the ID #social.bg-gray. And since these two are used with the same elements, we don't have to use space in between them. Background color #D8D8D8. This is for the gray color. Alright. This is the ID and this is the bg-gray class. Anyways, now we just need to style the icons. #social space li space I, font size 2rem, margin 1rem. Alright, now let's add color to these icons. #social space li space I dot fa-facebook. Let me just copy this reference because we are going to use it again and again for all the icons. So I am just going to define the color for all the icons. Alright. And now we just need to add the hovering effect over these icons. That is, we want the icons to turn black when we hover over them. And you can see how we have accessed these icons using the social ID, then the li tag, alright. Now we need to add some media queries to make our web page responsive. That is, it should adjust itself according to the size of the screen. Right. At media space screen space and space open bracket max width 992 pixels. So whatever stylings that we are going to define now will be applicable on the web page when the size of the width of the screen is below 992 pixels. Then let's reduce the font size of the P tag, H3 tag and banner text. Alright. We can write exclamation mark important rule so that all the other font size definition for this is overridden by this one. Let me just add H1 here so that the H1 tag is accessible. Then get outside, write add media space screen space and space open bracket max width 768 pixel, and let's reduce the font size further. And we want the image grids to be displayed one in a row, so make the width as 100% so that this 1_half class gets the entire width of the screen when the screen size falls below 768 pixel wide. Alright, now you can see that both the text part are next to each other, but instead we want text, then the image and then the last text. And for this, we are going to use this reverse-wrap class. This is a very handy feature of the flex properties. So get to the part where we have defined the flex properties. And we just need to define .reverse-wrap class. Then flex wrap-reverse. Alright. And here we have the desired effect. Perfect. Now let's reduce the font size further in very small screens, let's say 680 pixel wide. Alright, so with this we have successfully completed this video. That is, we have created the responsive web page or a landing page. If you liked the video, please hit like button and subscribe to the channel, and also please let me know in the comment section if there's anything that you did not like about this video, or if there's anything that you want me to improve. Please let me know those comments in the comment section. I would love to improve myself. And as for now, I'm going to see you in the next video. Till then, thanks for watching.